You should be able to slide in. If there is no sliding going on, you need to do something about it. And that doing something about it is not just licking your fingers and quickly tapping on her vag as if that's going to fix the entire problem. Because I know there are guys that do that. Oh, just let me look at here. No, like your 2 spits of saliva are not going to cure my vaginal dryness. So
Welcome to What I Love About Sex, where some incredible guests and I, Steph Kanowski, will be bringing you the tools for improving your sex life with topics such as sex issues with your partner, sexual self-confidence, premature ejaculation, sexual shame, masturbation, sharing your fetishes, orgasmic pleasure, and more. Sex is still so taboo, and I personally believe that by improving our understanding and communication skills around sex, we can enhance our own self-pleasure as well as deepening our long-term romantic relationships. So listen in, try to stay open-minded, and let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the What I Love About Sex podcast. Today we're going to talk about lube. And if you hear a Mrs. Sniffles in my voice, it's because allergy season just smacked me in the ass yesterday. I thought it was pretty late for allergies to kick in now, but my eyes were super glassy. I went to the gym yesterday. I looked at myself in the mirror and almost screamed because it was so creepy how glassy my eyes were. It was honestly scary. Anyway, so that is why I might be sneezing throughout this episode, as I have been sneezing a lot. But talking about lube here, I'm going to keep it short. It's going to be more of like a vent style versus my 3 things structure of my usual podcasts. So to start off my rant, lube is our friend. We like lube. Lube is good. Use lube. I think it's getting better more and more over time that people are realizing, hey, lube isn't a bad thing. It's not something that only old women have to use during sex, penetrative sex, and let's use more of it. So I like that that's becoming more normalized, but still, I think for you guys to not be certain of how to maybe bring up the topic of using lube during sex, that can be an issue, right? Because if you feel like it's a bad thing, but you also feel like your partner could probably use it because she's dry often enough where it could help her, it could help her, but it's like, is this a bad thing to bring up? Will this embarrass her? So this is to let you know that it might embarrass her based on where she is and her relationship with her body. I, for one, would not get embarrassed about that. Obviously, I have lubes. I use them. But I have moments when my body dries up and I am a sexually healthy 31-year-old woman. So there are women who are younger than me who always need lube. There are women who are much older, even in their 70s, who don't need lube. So every woman is different. Yes, more likely it's that older women postmenopausal stage, they are more likely to need lube for comfortable sex, but that's not necessarily true for every woman, and we can't associate it to specific ages and normalize it that way. You know what I mean? Even the fact that, and this is funny because I made a reel a couple months ago and it kind of pissed a lot of guys off. Not pissed them off. I think it frustrated a ton of guys because what I said was, just because a woman is wet does not necessarily mean she's super horny. Just because a woman is dry does not mean she's not super horny. So a lot of guys were like, fuck, I finally thought I knew something about women and I had an actual sign that I can, is tangible and in front of my face to know what the fuck is going on. And now I don't. Thanks, Steph. There's definitely a lot of that in that episode, which I felt a little bad about. But at the end of the day, I don't feel bad because it's a fact. It's called arousal non-concordance. It's when the brain and the body don't associate the same feeling. So or have the proper association. So what I mean by that is I, for one, will randomly be in the grocery store picking out oranges and I will get really wet and I'll feel like a gush of wetness. No, I am not turned on by oranges. I don't fantasize about oranges at all. There is zero sexual context there, but I will feel my body. I will sometimes feel like a gush of wetness, just like, what the fuck? And it just comes out of the blue, right? There's no sexual stimuli, no sexual context at all. And then there are times when I'm having sex with a partner and I am feeling so dry, my vagina is dry, right? But I am very turned on and wanting to have sex. So how do you explain that? Arousal non-concordance. All right. So that's the reason why. So if you are, what a lot of guys, I think what happens is there's an insecurity when guys are having sex with their partner and the woman is dry, and the guy will more likely to just push through it as long as she doesn't say anything, meaning try to fuck her when it's a little hard to get in there and it doesn't go right in smoothly, because he's either just waiting for her to say something or there's an insecurity behind him where he's concerned, why am I not able to make her wet enough to go in? I don't even want to address this because it's embarrassing. I'll just wait for her to say something. No. Use lube. Most likely she's in pain or she's uncomfortable if you are not able to just slide in. You should be able to slide in. If there is no sliding going on, you need to do something about it. And that doing something about it is not just licking your fingers and quickly tapping on her vag as if that's going to fix the entire problem. Because I know there are guys that do that. Oh, just let me look at here. No, like your 2 spits of saliva are not going to cure my vaginal dryness. So like, either help me masturbate, let me masturbate myself and you watch, or we partner masturbate, or make sure I come before you put your dick inside me so that there's that natural lubricant that comes on there. No pun intended. Or you use lube. Use lube. And pour it on. Actually, don't pour it on there right away. You want to make sure that you have a lube that works well with her body and with yours, because both of you can have skin irritations. She can get a yeast infection. There may be allergies depending on ingredients. So you definitely want to start with small amounts when you're starting out with a lube. And then once you find a good one, cool. Then you can use a lot more of it. And especially when you're using new toys and whatnot, use a lot on the toy, but make sure it's one that you have tested a little bit to just pay attention to skin irritations and whatnot for the both of you, right? Because at the end of the day, lube is not just making sex more comfortable for the woman. It's also making it more comfortable for you guys, especially with a condom. And be cautious what lubes you use that go along with condoms. Some will actually break the condom. So always look at the risks of the lube you're using, the condoms you're using. Be responsible in that regard. Obviously, I can't clear all of that up in one episode. I don't know what you're doing. So yeah, just pay attention to all that. But just know that lube is your friend. Lube is her friend. It doesn't matter how old she is. It doesn't mean something's wrong with her body. Women go through phases, just as you men go through phases, right? There are times when a woman is super wet all the time, and then she may randomly dry up for a while. And I hate using the phrase dry up. She may randomly just be physically dry. And if that happens, we don't want to immediately go to, okay, something's wrong, because it's more likely going to come back and she's going to go in cycles here and there. I mean, if it does last for a significant period of time, of course, going to a doctor is always a great thing to do to get checked to make sure it's nothing serious. But it's normal to go through cycles of wetness and dryness. And that's fine. It doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong, all right? Maybe it does, but for the most part, no. And for you guys to just keep that in your minds, that this is not about her dryness during sex, does not have to do with your dick or her being turned off. For the most part. I mean, because if she's already at the point having sex with you, hopefully she is really into it and wants to have sex with you. I know sometimes women are just like, fuck it, I'll just have sex with him. And they're not super into it. So, of course, there are times when you and the chemistry is just not there. You and her chemistry is not there. And it's just not working out. So, of course, that does play a small role or a big role, depending on the context. But I'm just trying to account for all potential situations. At the end of the day, use lube. It is healthy. It is great. It is normal. Even the extra wetness can even help her get more aroused. Because even though we don't, like I said with the gush example at the grocery store, which this never happened at the grocery store at the oranges. I just made something up. But it happens during times like this. So even fuck, what was I going to say? So even during times when if that were to happen, we'll use the grocery store example. I would think oh shit, all right, I'm really wet. Obviously that makes me think of my vagina. So I'm not in a sexual context, so it doesn't grow the sexual there's no sexual excitement, so it doesn't grow upon the sexual thought. Versus when you're in bed having sex with a partner, you're in a sexual context. So if there was more wetness added, it would trigger to the mind, ooh, okay, this is good. You're even more comfortable now for penetration. Ooh, you can take that dick even more. So when the context is changed, more wetness can add to the arousal and the excitement. So I hope that I explained that the right way. But yeah, using a lot of lube. If you're not sure if you need lube, just use it. Have a go-to lube that you both enjoy. All right, guys, that is it for this episode. Nice, short, and sweet vent, to the point. Use lube. Enjoy it. If you guys want more coaching from me on a more personal level, because I know a lot of you are listening to my podcast and getting a lot from it, and I love your support. My podcast has actually really grown in terms of downloads. I'm really excited about that because I didn't accurately track that over the last so many years. So not years, months. I was a little confused on how to track it. And when I realized how much it was growing, I was like, oh my God, cool. So I appreciate all of your listens and support here. And for me to support you, if you're interested in moving forward with coaching, I have 2 one-on-one spots available starting in 2 weeks from now. So if that interests you, or maybe you just want to do a one-time call for coaching, I will leave that information in the description of this podcast, and you can reach out through there. So have an amazing morning, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon.
I hope this episode helped you. If it did, I would love for you to leave me an iTunes review. It would mean the world to me. You can also screenshot your favorite episodes and tag me on Instagram @StephKanowski. And before I go, remember, your sex life is as good as you make it out to be. Until next time.